Hey everybody, welcome back to Brown Thumb Nursery. I am Rob. I am out here in my shade house getting ready to do, well, I'm just doing my morning things. Saturday morning I'm going around doing a lot of things, but anyhow, I have this Peggy Martin rose here. No blooms right now, but anyhow, it needs trimmed back and potted up and everything, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you guys how we do cuttings of these. All right, so what I'd normally do is use these like 50 cell trays here like that. But today, so it's at the end of the season and it's almost questionable whether I have time to get them to grow good enough before winter. So what I thought I would do is use these bigger, a little bit bigger pots. I've got these in a flat of them basically. Got 10 of them per flat or whatever. So anyhow, I thought I would do these in a little bit bigger. That way, there's no need to pot them up into anything bigger until spring. It takes up more space. I mean, you can get basically 50 cuttings in about the same space as 10 this way. So I prefer doing the 50 if possible. And they make like 32 cell trays and 38 cell trays and 72 cell, all the different sizes. But anyhow, that's the reason I'm choosing this size, is because it's so close to winter. And if any of them do take root, and they'll have a better chance making it through the winter because I won't have to disturb the roots to pot them up or do anything like that. So anyhow, let's just get started here. Let me just show you real quick this Peggy Martin rose. I got this Peggy Martin rose from Petals from the Past. And so you know, sometimes when you buy things, you're just not 100% sure if it's really what they say it is, you know? Well, at Petals from the Past, we know for sure it is what it is. Anyhow, this is in about a 2-gallon pot or 1.5 gallons, and it's coming out the bottom. It needs potted up. It needs trimmed. You can see I got like, the roots are just like even all intertwined together. I'm gonna try to save as much of those roots as I can. Or maybe I'll just trim some of those off and let them sprout out new ones. But anyhow, it needs trimmed back. It got this branch here is kind of coming out. And I just need to keep it in a pot right now because building my wife, Deb, an office over there because she works from home. She needs an office. She's been using our, little corner of our bedroom. So I'm building her an outdoor office. It's a nice, about 16, what is it, about 12 by 16 office. It's going to have running water and Wi-Fi and electric and all that stuff. So anyhow, she wants to put her whole potager garden all around her office and chicken yard area and everything. So this is going to go there, and maybe even some of these cuttings that I do off of this. So let me go ahead and grab some pruners here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to aim you down there so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I've got this this big old branch here that's just the real, about, I don't know, 4 feet long or something. I'm going to trim it back, way back to the base. And well, not quite to the base. I want to leave enough to where it can sprout out new growth from there. So anyhow, let me set this aside. I'm going to do that same thing with this this one here. I'm not all the way back. I'm going to come back to about here. Take that. And I'm just going to set that aside for now, because I don't want to take any more branches. I want to leave enough for photosynthesis as possible on this plant, but I want to take as many cuttings as it works out well for an even amount of, cuttings. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. So now you can see that this here, from here to here on this branch, is old wood. Now, old wood will grow roots. Sometimes just not as well. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of start from the top down here and take what down to the, you can't see very good, can you? Anyhow, I'm going to take down to here real quick and kind of get a something to work with here. I'll work off the top here. All right, so now we got a little side branch here that's actually a nice little size to be a cutting on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that down there. And okay, so none of these others are good enough side branches to be able to be used as cutting. So this here, I'm going to probably just make into 2 or 3 cuttings on its own. So let's see here what we got. This bottom, obviously, all of this. In fact, let me get my compost bucket here. I always keep a compost bucket right here so when I clip stuff, at least some of it goes in there and I don't have less stuff to clean up. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and clip off this very bottom. That'll be under the soil level. And then that one there as well. That one as well. And, you know, I think that's going to be a nice spot right there. So, cut that down there. I'm going to leave these 2 leaf branches, but I'm going to take some of it off. So there's a nice number 1 first cutting. Okay, so then let me go ahead and, now you can kind of tear off the leaf branches or however you want to do it. Sometimes it's just easier to clip them if you already got something in your hand. And yeah, so that looks pretty nice. I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of clip one more and then kind of minimalize the amount of leaf that's there, so just to keep it from dehydrating too much. All right, so there we go. There's another one. You can see they're about, I don't know, 5 and 6 inches, you know, kind of that range. And then this one here, man, that's like 8 inches if I was to take the whole thing. And I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to take the whole thing and let that be a cutting on its own. The more plant matter that you have, sometimes it's better, gives them a better chance. You can, man, just about anything is going to grow roots in the right conditions. But having more plant matter gives it less possibility of drying up and dying. So there's 3. And cut off some more here. And you can kind of get the idea of how I'm doing this. I'm just going to kind of basically go by size. I think I'll get 2 cuttings out of that one, so I'll cut that there, kind of, and so on. So that's basically how I'm doing that. Well, there's a bunch of foliage up in that area there, huh? Not sure how to, I don't want to leave very much of it, but I don't want to damage too much of it either. So that'll be good. Now some of this might end up dying off and stuff, and that's okay. It'll naturally do that itself. So here's one that's got kind of 2, it's kind of small and thin, and it's pretty tender. It probably doesn't have, I don't know if it's going to be able to go or not. We want kind of semi-hardwood, and this is semi-hardwood, but it's small. But I'm going to go ahead and use it anyhow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that whole thing as a cutting on its own, so that because if I cut it in half, I feel like it'd be not enough plant matter. So trim back some of them leaves. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And with that one, same thing. It just doesn't have enough to get 2 cuttings. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of trim that back, trim the leaves back. should be good. And I believe that's going to be one cutting on its own as well. So go ahead and trim that back. So you kind of get the idea of what I'm looking for. And you know, obviously, you're not going to do the exact same thing. You're not going to have the exact same plant material to work with. So just kind of giving you the idea of what I'm looking for. And yeah, let's cut that off too. And you know what? It's not rocket science. This is you'll get success doing things so many different ways, and so just do your own experimenting. Try it how and see what kind of success you have doing different things. All right, so now down here we've got this this hardwood that you know, most people wouldn't even bother with at this time. But I'm going to go ahead and use it because it will root. Let me just go ahead and clip off this top one. And so it's got softwood up here, but the hardwood is going to be under the ground or under the soil level. So trim back a few more leaves here. And we'll go with that. And then this one here also has two different branches. I feel like maybe I can go ahead and do 2 cuttings. I'm going to do that. I'm going to separate that. Get 1 cutting here. Then trim back the leaves. All right. And this is the other half of that one. Go ahead and trim that. So you get the idea. And this was the completion of that one whole branch. We still have this other longer branch to deal with. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these cuttings real quick and show you how I'm gonna go about that before we do that other one. Because I'll have to get another tray out and everything. So looks like we got about close to about 10 cuttings there or something in that vicinity. So I went ahead and grabbed a little chunk of a leaf of aloe vera to use as a rooting hormone. And boy, you should see my aloe veras. They're all been picked apart from using that. Anyhow, just what I do is you can take your thumbnail or whatever and just kind of scrape the cambium labor around the node down there, that bottom node. And then we'll just stick that in that rooting hormone. You can use whatever kind of rooting hormone you like. And then I'm just going to stick that right down in the middle of that. And there we go. Same thing. Whoops. Go ahead and scrape that a little bit. Stick it in the aloe vera rooting hormone. Oh. There we go. I'm going to trim a little bit more of the leaves off of this one, I believe, because, yeah, I'll go like that. It's kind of leaning a little heavy on the one side. So, next one, I'm just going to keep continuing that same process.
You want a little bit of honey?
And if you don't want to use your fingernail or your thumbnail, you can take your, a knife or your pruners and just kind of scrape it a little bit. However you want to do that. And get her in there. Some of these are kind of flimsier than others, so I'm going to have to take a little a dibbler, a pencil or something to just kind of poke a hole to make it go in easier. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do a dibble in each one of those just in case. All right, so I had one left over there from that branch, so I got 10 in here. And now I'm going to go ahead and, you know, if you guys watch my channel, you already know that I'm going to do this, but I always put a little bit of fertilizer and just kind of gives it a little bit extra, little something, something, just a tiny bit. And this is slow release fertilizer, so it's not going to be too harsh on it. I guess I could show you a little bit better what about how much I'm putting. Just a tiny little bit. So, just a tiny bit. This is a high in nitrogen type of fertilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of explain the rest of what I'm going to do, and then I'll finish my other stuff after we're done talking. But so now what I like to do is water them in. Just take a hose. So you want to get it watered in right away. Just don't want any wilting going on. You want to keep them things hydrated as much as possible. In fact, this one over here that is just sitting there all by itself, I'm like getting a little bit concerned about it just sitting there that long. I like to maybe stick them in a bucket of water while I'm waiting or whatever. So I got to hurry up and get to that one pretty quick. But so now I've got in this area in my shade house here, I've got these sprinkler heads, and they just kind of go through and sprinkle this whole area every hour of the day. So it keeps them hydrated. There's different ways you can keep them hydrated, and you can watch all different kinds of my videos and talk about the different ways. I used to have a whole different system over at the other place, and so anyhow, I'm still getting kind of tuned in to this system actually, with the sprinklers and all that, because I didn't have that before. And I used what I called my propagation frame, which was glass enclosed that kept the humidity locked in there. So there's different ways you can do that. You can put, like, if you just want to do a little pot, you know, of these, and you put like a humidity kind of thing, like take a water bottle and cut the bottom off and set the water bottle over top of it to keep the humidity in over top of a little pot like this. There's so many different ways you can do it. So anyhow, but now I want to go ahead and get this plant potted up, and I may take a few more cuttings once I start working on that, but I want to get this potted up and show you guys that real quick. All right, from here I'm going to go, this is, I don't know if this is 1.5 gallons or 2 gallons, something like that. I'm going to go to a 3 gallon. I've got these fabric pots that work really great. I'm really loving these things. And I'll put a link in the description in where I get these from Amazon. Just click on the link and you can check them out, see what you think. But I've been really happy with these. I mean, really happy. So, but anyhow, you know, if you've heard of air root pruning or whatever they call that, I'm going to go ahead and aim you down while I'm talking. So these allow the roots to, instead of, see how the roots here, they come and they just keep going out and all of that, which I'm going to go ahead and cut some of them off. But they do what they call, I think they call it air root pruning or something like that. The roots naturally come to the edges of these pots and everything, and they don't sense any more moisture out there because it's air out here, and they just turn back and die off there or turn back the other direction. And so that kind of gives a good it's kind of a natural rooting kind of a thing. I don't know. And I've been having pretty good success with it. All right, yeah, there we go, very nice. Go ahead and fill in around there. And I wanted to get that just a little bit below the height of that, because I always leave just a little bit for allow the water to soak in and stuff. So I'll just kind of pack in around the edges there. I always try to not fill it up any higher than where it was. If I needed to raise it up, I raise up the whole thing and allow some soil to get underneath it by shaking it. And that worked out really good right there. So just a little bit more here around the outer edge. Pull it away from the stalk of the plant or the trunk. And there we go. Now, make sure I put my, oh boy, that reminds me. Don't forget to put your labels with your cuttings, what they are. This is Peggy Martin here. Anyhow, I'm gonna put this with this, but now it reminds me I need to go and get labels made up for those there real quick. So, but anyhow, I gotta do that. And yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of fertilizer. Now it's kind of late in the season to fertilize, and I realize that. I'm just gonna give it a little bit just to kind of give it that little bit of, I mean, roses grow well through the winter a lot anyhow, so I feel like I'm gonna be okay giving them a little bit of, giving this one a little bit of a boost. And anyhow, so there you have that. And whoa. And so there we go. Nice little potted up plant. And that'll keep it alive until next year, where I can, in the spring, where I can plant it out in the ground. And man, I'm anxious to get this planted in the ground. I've seen so many people over there at Zach and Jacqueline over there at Head Family Farm. They've got theirs on their, I think it's on their barn or a building that they have there. And man, it just took over like crazy. Like in one season, it just did great. So these are very prolific growers. And so I'm kind of excited about that. Get this thing in the ground, you know, because we've started this, we just bought this property, you know, less than a year ago. Now we have to start all over with all the things we're putting in the ground. And so it'd be nice to have something that takes off and grows really quick. So I'm excited about that. So anyhow, that's really it for this this video. I was just wanting to show you this, and I'll get back on with my projects here today and keep stuff rolling around here. And hopefully you're out there doing some stuff, getting your thumbs brown. Of course, my thumbs didn't get that brown today, but you know, I got under my fingernails are pretty brown, so see there. So we're all right. We're all right. You know, people always ask me, why is it Brown Thumb Nursery? Well, because I'm always out here potting up plants, and I stick my thumbs down to pack the soil in, and a lot of times my thumbs, one day I was doing it, and I was like, man, looking at my thumb, man, my thumbs are brown. I don't have a green thumb. I don't have a green thumb. I have brown thumbs. I'm like, oh, hey, I could call it Brown Thumb Nursery. So that's really kind of how it all happened. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I like it. I just think it's kind of cool. And people take it, sometimes they think you're meaning the other thing, that, you know, that it's for the people who don't have a green thumb, you know, whatever. But that's not really what it means. No, I have brown thumb because I'm out here potting up plants all the time. And hopefully you are too. Get out there and have some fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you on the south side. God bless.